Hello, everyone. After having conversation with Martin and Gordana, we had the opportunity to talk with employees here in Graphisoft Park, Budapest, and we talked with whom, Miljan?
We talked with Balint and Sabi.
And Ákos and Illés.
Yes, and it was really interesting discussion. We talked about many different topics, but specifically the most current one and the hottest topic right now, the new AI Visualizer, the Archicad new AI Visualizer, but also about many different implementations. For example, how structural engineering workflows implement with architectural workflows and those connections.
Yes, and also the MEP connections with Archicad, exactly. And especially with the educational platform of Graphisoft, the Graphisoft Learn. Welcome to Sfera.
Hi guys, thanks for coming.
Hello,
thank you for having us.
Yeah, maybe you can first introduce yourself.
Ákos?
Age before beauty.
Okay, so then I'll start. I'm Illés Papp. I'm a senior product manager here at Graphisoft, and the latest project I was working on was this AI Visualizer.
Oh, so you're the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ákos Karóczkai. I'm the manager for the professional services team, and I'm mostly involved with the Graphisoft Learn program.
Okay, maybe we can now start from the hot topic, the AI
Visualizer.
AI Visualizer, yeah. What was your idea or Graphisoft idea behind that improvement, and how do you see the potential of it? How do you see it developing in the coming years? What's your idea?
The AI Visualizer became something of a product like that you can actually already use because we started this year's, even the first, we have this grid, which is the Graphisoft Innovation Days as well. So we already had that hot topic, the AI topic, and it is still a very important part that we trying to deliver continuously something to the desk for the users. And this was one of the things that we thought could be something that we can create a visualizer, not a renderer, a visualizer that delivers very good quality result in a very short time for you as a user, also by simply providing very simple inputs, like only the concept and only a few words, literally. And this made it one of the #1 candidates to deliver to the customers. We are obviously working on other research projects, but this was one of the first ones that we thought, because of how visual it is and because of how these visual engines are capable already doing things, and this connected and integrated with the Archicad toolset, we thought this is the first thing to go out with. And I can say that the release was quite successful. We have quite a lot interest generated and a lot of comments about the capabilities of Visualizer. And obviously, people are feeding with ideas that they would like to see.
Yeah, but we actually, sorry, Miljan, we haven't asked Martin about that. But can you tell us, or can you see some flaws in that AI Visualizer, or does the community had any negative reactions?
There was part of that comes from maybe not everyone understood 100% whether what it is exactly. And the reason I'm, for example, phrasing it not as a renderer, because it is not. That's a sort of common misunderstanding that sometimes comes, because this is for inspiration. A rendering is something different. As a
it's a representation.
Yes,
it's a final output,
which it is here as well. But when you would like to render something, you would like to stick to the origin way more than with something that is giving you inspirational input. So that was the goal to deliver that, and we purposefully didn't name it any sort of renderer. However, we cannot tell where the future will lead from now to 3 years later. But that was not the goal. The goal was to deliver something that will, with very few input, even in the early stages, will show spectacular results with something always added. And then that will give you a few ideas, and the tests show that really can give you good ideas. Maybe you need to create a few images, but still it will deliver.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I see it, at least. What I meant by representation, it's a representation of an idea, whereas renderer, if I may define it that way, is a representation of a certain object or a certain aspect of building, but very kind of concrete.
Yeah.
So you're trying to represent reality in a way. Here you're just trying to represent an idea. So it's more about the atmosphere, which is very difficult to achieve when you're working. It's not very difficult now, like with all the improvements with Twinmotion and Enscape, it's very easy to get that atmosphere, but this is even faster, just a prompt and he can make that happen for you. So, but what I wanted to ask you and didn't ask Martin, we didn't have time. You mentioned there are a couple of more projects and implementation of AI in the software. Could you maybe give us a sneak peek? Because I'm very interested about how do you guys in Graphisoft think about that AI can help us in those redundant tasks, documentation, annotating, dimensioning, putting those things in correct order so nothing overlaps. Do you guys think in that direction? Because what is often mentioned with AI is that that AI will certainly replace redundant tasks. There will be no need for that. So how do you guys think about that?
I don't know if you would like to add something, because you didn't speak for
No, I just one thing back to the visualizer. I think it's a great tool for architects and their clients. It's a great resource because, you know, early on they make mood boards and stuff like that to emphasize a feeling or a vibe about the space, and I think it's a perfect tool for that, for early design ideating. Go ahead.
And coming back to the question, we're definitely working on other areas to improve, and as we represented it in our public presentations, one of these areas, a key area, is making those mundane tasks that are boring and repetitive and whatnot to deliver something that, without saying anything else, to deliver something that is really assisting you. And this is how we see AI as an assistant, as a very skillful in areas, maybe not others. But in areas where it is powerful, where it is skillful, it will assist you. And this is how we are trying to use the technology to deliver better solutions.
This is how I think the community can help, because you need a lot of data to teach AI what is he's supposed to do. And maybe the best way, like how can you collect thousands and thousands of drawings? Maybe the community can help that. Like if everyone can just put like a couple of really instructive things of how he's supposed to, let's say this is a very repetitive task, like dimensioning. You just like give him 10 or 50 of your drawings, and then you multiply that with whole community. Maybe AI can learn something from that. But how does that connect to learning?
Well, just before we move on to learning, I think that the tricky thing about teaching an AI is that, for example, every architecture office, they do things differently. They do dimensioning slightly bit differently. They do labeling differently. So maybe in the long run, it's going to be a self-teaching, or in your office you can teach your own AI on how to dimension or how to label or how to do anything that is very particular to your style, let's say.
Yeah, and how do you see that? How that connects to learning? Because it's obviously new technology, and now there is a challenge of explaining people and introducing them. And how do you go about in Graphisoft of how to deliver this kind of let's say information or introductory parts?
Well, with learning, it's significantly changed how people are learning in the past few years, obviously because of the pandemic. And now AI is another layer of new technologies or new challenges that can help people learn. So now, people are mostly interested in about video format learning. The more bite-sized, the better it is. So, maybe even TikTok video style learning, where you just see a little bit of video about a particular thing on how to do it in the software. So that's one direction, but at the same time, there is the other direction of learning and teaching a software about complex concepts. And what our team is doing, we are developing learn materials from the very basics. So from the first time when an architect meets Archicad, how they can get up to speed, become productive in their office, all the way to educating themselves into BIM coordinators or BIM managers, so higher up in the, let's say, office hierarchy, and strategizing about more stuff. So the Learn program that we're developing has 3 legs or 3 pillars. One is BIM Author, a BIM Author program that educates you on how to use the software effectively or efficiently. We got a BIM Coordinator program that in an office, obviously there are these roles to help coordinate with other disciplines, so the work is smooth and the data flow is smooth between the participants. And we have a BIM Manager program who's developing and maintaining strategies in the office, template in the offices, maybe even involved in contractual relationships. So we are covering with Learn all aspects of let's say an architect's life cycle, from the very early stages of education when they are learning Archicad or any other software in the university. We are trying to help them through this journey, so they can be effective at every stage.
And when you start, when does it start? When did it start? Actually, the Learn Graphisoft.
Well, historically, it's
like 5-6 years ago.
Predecessor of it was there in 2015, 16, and now we have the full-blown program covering all aspects and all areas. Yeah.
Yeah, and is it? Do you have those courses in English only or in other languages?
We have other languages. Mostly we are developing in English, and then we are localizing it to several languages, from Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, and so on.
Are there any free, like for students, are there any free courses that they can visit on Graphisoft site?
Yeah. We got quite a few of free courses, and we have an additional package for university student that's free. So if they go to the Graphisoft Learn portal, then they should be able to find plenty of free materials to get you off the ground with Archicad and become productive.
Yeah. And aside from that, there's a ton of content on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know if there is that much for BIM Manager. Actually, for BIM Coordinator, is everything is inside Archicad, but for BIM Manager is also between Graphisoft, between Archicad and I don't know, maybe Twinmotion Archicad and Grasshopper Archicad and
structural engineering,
even for a BIM coordinator, MEP DDS
solutions.
CAD and everything. Yeah.
Even for a BIM coordinator, it's a big part of their role to make sure that all disciplines know what kind of data should they submit to each other, when, in what format, in the right coordinate system, and so on.
Yeah, and I assume that in the first course you have basics and advanced
correct
knowledge of Archicad.
Yeah, we have 2 levels: foundation and advanced. In the foundation, we have courses around not just foundation topics, like we have a foundation parametric design course, for example. It's just a level of getting into that particular topic, and then advanced courses take you into the nitty-gritty details and elaborating on a certain topic, whether that's modeling or visualization or documentation or or anything.
Yeah, and how do you see BIM is implemented in architectural firms, like all around the world? Is there a particular part of the world
where they're struggling,
or where they are going in advance? Like maybe, I don't know, Martin said something about Japan and Nikkei Sekkei, yeah. Like the big firm.
Which part are they most struggling with, and when do you, what would you recommend for let's separate this smaller and bigger offices? How do you go about teaching them how they should work in architect? What would be your, let's say, advice or maybe instruction?
Well, first of all, it's varying a lot, the BIM maturity, let's say. In Nordic countries, in the UK, it's very, very advanced. In the US as well. In Japan, I believe as well. So it's knowledge is not evenly distributed in the world. Let's say let's say it like that. And to how to improve that, what I see is that in the world there are areas where offices are very much interested in investing in their people, investing in their employees, to train them, to educate them, and I think that's as employee, that's very valuable thing that you can get from your employer, and you know, that's what I can recommend for offices to invest in their encourage. Add it to their working hours, let's say. I know it's a bit of a pickle with architectural offices because there are very tight deadlines, and training and education is not necessarily a part of those working hours. So some people do it on their own time. But as an office, as an employer, I think it's very much worth it to educate your people and define your goals as an office. Where do you want to go? You want to have bigger projects, more projects, or the same amount of projects with less people, or you have to define your goal, and then you can invest in your people.
Yeah, because obviously we mentioned it already a few times, but it's about creating a system, because system gives you the most valuable thing about BIM is extracting the information. So if the information is not structured in a certain way, you will struggle to extract that. And people from everyone that is in that process needs to understand what is their role in that process and why they need to do it in a certain way. Maybe we can go back for the end, just for the AI. One last question. Since it's a new technology and it looks, I guess, in a way, it looks easy, like, typing in some prompt and then, something will appear or will be solved. And it looks a bit silly when you look at it from the outside. But everyone is talking about, this new emerging, it's not like a profession, but more like an aspect of every profession, that you will have a prompt designers, people who are very proficient in doing these prompts and extracting from AI what they want them to do. So how do you guys see that developing in Graphisoft? How do you go about teaching people how to use AI?
Well, I think the first thing is to understand what the tool that you choose is capable of, and the technology that you choose is capable of. And this is a little bit of a question that is difficult to understand. I'm pretty sure as someone that is now getting to know the AI as a technology to use, because it's a wild west out now. So it's really many companies, many different approaches, and so on. So it's like really difficult now for someone who is not knowing their purposes and goals, which one to pick. And to learn also is something like that. So first you need to understand what you would like to do, and pick that tool that you would like to use. For example, in our specific case, let's say we are interested in what I could do with visualization. And then if I would like to do better prompting, then I need to look at others' examples, how they do it. Because in this sense, there are differences between different AI engines, let's say. But there are some common things that if you learn as a concept, then you will be able to understand. Like, let's say if you write down golden hours, for example, that has a specific tone that will automatically add it to your image. Or if you say night sky or something like that, these will bring in blues and oranges and things like that. So this is how you paint the content that you would like to create. This is when we talk about prompt engineering, this may sound a bit engineering-y, but it is more like understanding,
more like magic.
Yeah, it's a combination between magic and experience. So as you experience and as you will grow a sense to understand what you write down, how it feels like, how it, I mean, visually, how it feels like, and then that will be you will experience that added to the image as well. If we are talking about this specific topic about visualizing.
Thank you guys for your time, and
I'm sure you have a lot of things to do, and we don't want to take more of your time. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.